This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, we have a big announcement from the Catholic Diocese of Allentown. Happy Friday, friends. Welcome to FYI, your place for 24 hours of your community news and information. My name is Ken Karen. Here's the info from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. The Bishop of the Allentown Diocese is being transferred. Today, Pope Francis named Bishop John Barris as the next Bishop of the Diocese of Rockville Center in New York. That, according to the diocese website. Bishop Barris will succeed William Murphy, who submitted his letter of resignation. Murphy turned 75 in May and was required to do so by law. 56-year-old Bishop Barris has been the head of the Allentown Diocese since 2009. There is no word yet on who will replace Bishop Barris. An annual candlelight observance of National Children's Memorial Day will take place in our area this Sunday. The event is sponsored by the Luzerne County of Northeast PA chapter of Bereaved Parents. The program and candlelighting ceremony will be held Sunday at 7 p.m. at Faith United Church of Christ, 21 Faith Drive in Hazleton, just off of the Airport Beltway. Candles will be lit around the world in every time zone, making a continuous circle of light to remember children who have passed away. Parents, grandparents, siblings, and other family members are invited to attend. A bowling tournament will be held next weekend in memory of a man who loved the sport. The David Gombert Memorial Bowling Tournament will take place next Sunday, December 18th at 10 a.m. at Stanton Lanes in Wilkes-Barre. We mistakenly gave the wrong date last night. This is a handicap bowling tournament and everyone is eligible to bowl. There is an $800 guaranteed first place prize. The entry fee is $50. For more information, email jmetz89@verizon.net or go to David Gombert Memorial Bowling Tournament presented by John Metz on Facebook. SSPTV's The Girls are ready to have more holiday fun. Tonight, Deb and Janine visit the Keegan household for some cooking tips from John Keegan, pharmacist by day, cooking by night.
Menest actually means with pasta or rice, and zuppa means with bread.
Oh, Zupa's with bread.
So
I knew that.
It gets to that sauce gravy kind of thing, where we talk and we interchange terms, and so people think zuppa sounds like soup. Well, they're both ideally soups. I'm not putting the broth in.
Gotcha.
But one's based on pasta and one's based on bread.
Something else you
And they're
learned
all
today.
good.
It was pharmacist by day, cooking king by night. My bad. Check out this tasty episode of The Girls tonight at 9 p.m. on SSPTV. The annual tree lighting ceremony takes place tonight in Butler Township. The event is being hosted by the Recreation Board and Tracy's Academy of Dance. It will be held from 6 until 8 this evening in Butler Township Community Center. A bake sale will be held to support Drums Elementary PTA. And don't forget to bring your camera for pictures with Santa. And you're invited to the 4th annual Christmas in Cunningham. The event takes place tomorrow at the Borough Building in Cunningham with vendors, entertainment, a tree lighting, and parade. You can also drop off much-needed non-perishable food items for the Valley Food Pantry and toy donations for Brandon's Forever Home. That's Christmas in Cunningham tomorrow from noon until 4. Are you planning to make a charitable donation this holiday season? Before you do, make sure you know where your donation is going. The Pennsylvania Department of State has the following tips. First, do not give to a charity you know nothing about. Do not be fooled by a convincing name or one that sounds like a name of a well-known charity. Do not commit to donate over the phone unless you're familiar with the organization. Do not give cash, credit card, or bank numbers. Do not wire a donation. Instead, write a check payable to the charity so you have a record of the donation. Do not feel pressured into giving on the spot and do not allow someone to come to your house to pick it up. Find out if your contribution is tax deductible. If solicited in person, ask to see the solicitor's ID. And as part of its ongoing mission to educate the public about informed giving, the Pennsylvania Department of State will hold a Twitter town hall on Wednesday from noon until 12:30 p.m. For details on that and other tips, check out the department's website at dos.pa.gov. Coming up next, the freezing weekend forecast on tips on how to stay safe in the cold from a local EMT. Later, a full feature story on Stan DeCoste's emotional goodbye. The longtime Marion football coach stepped down this week. We'll hear from him and a few family members. Stay tuned.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
The mercury is definitely dropping, and tonight Lisa Sugart has some important advice to help you stay safe in the frigid cold.
Well, 'tis the season, the cold weather season, and that means it's time to bring in our good friends from APTS, which is the American Patient Transport Systems in Hazleton. They're the experts on how to keep you guys safe when you're out in the cold weather. Of course, Dennis Gantz, who is the Director of Marketing and Education for APTS, and Wally Boyle, who is the Paramedic Coordinator at APTS. Dennis, this is a dangerous time. The weather turns significantly colder, and we should be prepared. We should know what's happening, but yet we're not prepared.
Right. We always get caught off guard by that first cold spell, first snowfall. So some things we just want to keep that in mind when we're heading outdoors. Making sure that we're dressing appropriately, that we're being cautious of the surface that we're walking on or driving on. You're going to have icy conditions, slippery conditions, so you want to be careful.
Do you see a lot of calls like that with the ambulance because people, took for granted that they were going to be safe and they weren't?
Sure, absolutely. Everybody kind of, it's just you wake up and you have your normal routine that you're going about, and you don't think about the fact that it's icy outside or it's colder outside. So, we may hit the brakes like we normally would, and all of a sudden the car starts to slide and it doesn't want to stop, and we forget that we have to slow down and maybe pump the brakes slowly, and maybe go a little bit slower in this type of condition. So we see a little bit more accidents. We slips and falls a little bit more until folks start getting accustomed to this type of weather again.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people do have to work in the cold weather. You guys included, you have to respond to calls in the cold weather. So, Wally, what advice do you have for people that have to be out there all the time?
It's really important to layer your clothing. I mean, right now I have an Under Armour shirt underneath everything that I have on. That way, if you're out and you are getting overheated, you can take the layers off. And if you're getting cold, you can always add to it. It's always better to start and then take off than have to add on, because once your body gets cold, it's really hard to get that heat back up.
And what about people who already have like maybe a pre-existing condition, or they're prone to conditions because of the cold?
The people with COPD and the asthma and stuff like that, the cold weather a lot of times will take their breath away. So they have to limit the amount of time they're out in the cold air, whether they're going from their car or into a store or something, getting close to the doors and not take a lot of that cold air in, because that will affect their respiratory efforts.
And what about for these late stragglers who are out there maybe decorating? What advice do you have for them?
Well, that's a big thing. You got to make sure, if we're climbing ladders or everything, make sure somebody's footing the ladder. We had the snow this morning, so you're going to have that ice build up that the ladder's really not going to normally stay firm at. If you're up on the roof, make sure the roof is clear. We both have a very good friend who wasn't decorating but was cleaning his roof off of snow and lost his footing and wound up dying from that fall. So, it's really important to make sure of your footing. If there's snow or ice on the roof, don't get up there. It's not worth it. Yes, the lights are pretty, and I love to decorate for Christmas, but if there's snow or ice on the roof, stay away from it. Make sure, if you're on a ladder, it's footed.
All right, good advice. And lastly, I guess, what warning signs, if people maybe are out and exposed to the cold for too long, when should they, seek medical attention?
Well, you want to pay attention to yourself. I mean, obviously, the things that are going to be exposed the most are going to be your face and maybe even your hands. But make sure you wear gloves. Pay attention to the dexterity and being able to feel. You want to watch for numbness or burning and redness in that. So you want to be careful of that things. Limit the time. If it's very windy outside, the wind chill is going to make it a lot colder than it actually, the thermometer might say. So pay attention to that. You know, cover your face with a scarf, or, you know, zip that jacket up, put a hood up, ears, eyes, nose. Those are the things that you're going to have to pay attention to a lot, and fingers and toes. You know, kids are out playing as the snow starts to come down, so, you know, make sure they're dressed warm and bring them in periodically. Let them warm up and let them go back out.
All right, great advice from our good friends at APTS, trying to give you the advice so you can stay safe this winter.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Time for me to break out my sweet bear hat my in-laws got me. No, it's not a real bear. It's a stuffed animal I wear on my head, and its paws are my gloves. It's going to be very cold this weekend. Come on, you love local TV. Well, here's your local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight we have a chance of flurries after 5 a.m., mostly cloudy. Our low will be 19 degrees. Saturday, a chance of flurries before 7 a.m., partly sunny, high of only 28 degrees. Saturday night we're down to 19 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Sunday, 50% chance of snow, cloudy with a high near 29 degrees. On Sunday night, snow's likely before 1 a.m. and then a possible mixture with freezing rain and sleet, low around 27 degrees. Monday, snow once again likely mixed with freezing rain possible and sleet before 10 a.m. We will have a high near 39 degrees. On Monday night, 30% chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy, low of 28 degrees. Tuesday, the sun comes out, partly sunny, high in the mid-30s. And then Tuesday night, 30% chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy. Our low will be 23 degrees. Well, are you looking for a delicious change for dinner tonight? Check out The Other Side in Freeland. This week's dinner specials include a 9-ounce lobster tail, prime rib, homemade crab cakes, or chicken Florentine. And if you're shopping this weekend, The Other Side gift certificates make great gifts for the holidays. The Other Side is now taking reservations for New Year's Eve. The party includes a midnight buffet, champagne toast, and this year's theme is The Great Gatsby. The Other Side in Freeland. Stop in tonight. And now turn your attention to our green screen. Your midday winning lottery numbers on FYI: pick 2, 5, 3, pick 3, 1, 4, 5, pick 4, 9, 6, 5, 3, and pick 5, 5, 9, 3, 5, 4. Where do you see the dog this week in Adopt Me? It's got a lot of energy. Here's Chris.
Hello again. Here I have with me Bree. Bree is an approximately 9-month-old Hound Shepherd mix. As you can see, she's very affectionate and playful and has a lot of energy. Because of her age and energy level, we recommend somebody who has some experience owning dogs in the past. We're not sure what she's like with other animals, so of course, as always, if you have a dog of your own, we recommend bringing him in to do a meet and greet. Just like all of our dogs, Bree here is already spayed, current on her vaccines, and has been tested for heartworm and Lyme disease and has come up negative for both. That's it for this week's dog. Let's have a look at our cats. And here I have with me Julius. Because Julius here is a larger cat and we're not sure how well he'll do with the other males, we have him up next to the females here in his own private cage. Julius is already neutered and current on his vaccines, including rabies and feline distemper. Like all of our cats, he's been tested for feline leukemia and FIV and has come up negative for both. Julius is a quiet, laid-back cat who is not very playful but is very affectionate and loves to be held. He loves human companionship. For Julius, we're looking for somebody with a nice laid-back personality and a lot of time to snuggle. That's it for this week's pets. If anybody at home is interested in adopting Bree, Julius here, or any of the other animals we have up for adoption, please come on down to the Hazelton Animal Shelter at 101 North Poplar Street.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
Surrounded by family, friends, former players, and reporters, Marion head football coach Stan DeCoste approached the podium to announce his retirement. After 43 years on the staff, 300-plus wins, a state title, he was ready to step down. Everyone was on the edge of their seats to hear what he had to say. It would be his day in the spotlight after all that he accomplished. And what did he do when he got to the mic? He thanked everyone there and wished good health to Panther Valley's basketball coach, Pat Cramsey. That's Stan DeCoste. That's who he's been since I started covering him in 2007, and from the stories I've heard, that's how he's always been, humble and selfless.
Literally for 43 years I've been blessed teach and coach at a school that I've grown to love and respect, with a faculty and people are second to none. I've never hesitated when I've had the chance to speak publicly to tell people I think I teach and coach at the best high school in the state of Pennsylvania, and that hasn't changed. An emotional decision, not because I'm sad, but because of all the people who helped put me in this place. Proud of the program we built, and just bear with me for a second, and how we did things. I'm just a piece of the puzzle, and what I'd like to do is recognize some of the people briefly and what they've meant to us in our program.
Just a piece of the puzzle. That's how Stan DeCoste sees himself. He spent his time at the podium thanking everyone from his parents to opposing coaches and even the media. DeCoste added just how hard his coaches work and that sometimes the head coach gets too much credit. His son, Stan DeCoste Jr., is an assistant coach and recruiting coordinator for Colgate University's football program. As he meets with high school coaches around the state, he hears just how much his father is loved and respected. DeCoste Jr. is impressed by how his dad kept winning at Marion while keeping his character.
With him and Marion, it's everything to do with what Marion has done for him and has meant for him, and he's entrenched himself in this school. You know, I don't know how many head coaches cut their game fields over the summer as much as he's done over a period after winning 300 games and stuff like that. So he's a blue-collar guy. He's a Coal Region guy, and that's something that he holds true to that as much as anything.
Marion has been a major part of the DeCoste family for years. While his father was receiving offers from other schools, DeCoste Jr. insisted that he was going to play for his dad at Marion Catholic. His dad stayed. He always stayed, and DeCoste Sr. says he stayed because he and his family believe in the work Marion Catholic is doing. He gave credit to the school for helping shape his son and his daughter Kathleen. If you're not getting just how close the DeCoste family is to Marion, maybe this will help. Here's DeCoste Sr.'s wife, Mary.
Well, we met at Marion football game, and it's been that way for the last 43 years. We've been together through football. I'm not sure what we're going to do now without football. I guess I'll have to get him a hobby, something to do. But yeah, it's just been a part of us. And I'm a Marion graduate, so I've been involved since I'm 14 years old, with Marion, and Stan being here. It's been great. We've had so many great times at football games, and it's just been a great life.
Before walking away from the podium, after all of his thank yous were done, DeCoste was asked what he thinks his legacy will be when it comes to Marion football.
I would hope I was a coach that cared about his players, not only when they played, but after they were done. I think that's the biggest thing. I told this story at a banquet that we had a former player who was struggling. Married, he was struggling, had a problem with some substance abuse. And he called his fullback, who he hadn't talked to in 10 years, to take him to the hospital. And that fullback showed up and took him. And that young man is doing well right now. And that's better than a gold medal. So that's what you try to instill. You cover each other's back. You care about each other. You may not like each other every time, but you love each other. So I think that's what we try to instill. Once a cult, always a cult.
So work on the puzzle will continue. Maybe DeCoste is just a piece of a bigger picture. While he won't admit it, his players and his family will. He's an integral piece that helps hold the Marion community together. It was an honor to cover Coach DeCoste. My best to him and his family for this next chapter of their lives. The next chapter of FYI includes Ron Marchetti and short shots.
High school basketball season officially opens tonight, but the Hazelton area Cougars open tomorrow. What hopefully will be a championship campaign. Hi, everybody. This is Short Shots. The Cougars open with Parkland tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. at Cougar Hall. This season for the Scarlet, Silver, and White looks like it's promising as any season ever looked before. But we must still talk about football. Southern Columbia defeated Ligonier Valley last Friday, 31-27. The SC Tigers lost 26 seniors from last year, 19 of 22 starters. This was a rebuilding year with 2 freshman running backs and a sophomore quarterback. Southern Columbia is 14-0 and will play 14-0 Steel Valley tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the Class A state championship. And speaking of state, 2 Pennsylvania college football teams played for championships last Saturday and both won. 10-3 Temple defeated Navy 34-10 to win the American Athletic Conference at Annapolis. And how about Penn State? What an impressive victory over Wisconsin, 38-31 at Indianapolis after trailing 28-7 to win the Big Ten championship, their first since 1994. The Nittany Lions have outscored Michigan State and Wisconsin in their last two games in the second half, combined 59-3. They're fifth best team in the country. That was big news last weekend. This week, the lead story almost happened on Tuesday morning. A 2-hour delay after a 1/4 of an inch snowfall during mid-30 degree temperatures. That was finished by daybreak, which indicates there will be many school delays this winter. Mother of God! I'm sorry, I'm just jealous because I never even heard of a 2-hour delay during my school years. But that was the biggest local story of the week until yesterday. Marion Catholic football coach Stan Dukowski announced that he is stepping down after more than 300 wins and 40-plus years on the sidelines. He may have been the Colts' only ever football coach. He wasn't, but it seems that way. Good luck to him. And speaking of football coaches, Temple's football coach Matt Rule, after back-to-back 10-win seasons, is moving on from the Temple Owls to the Baylor Bears. And Penn State coach James Franklin is one of 5 candidates for College Coach of the Year. The winners will be revealed on January 7th, and Penn State junior place kicker Tyler Davis has been recognized as the NCAA's most accurate kicker, 55 for 55 PATs and 24 of 26 field goals. Both misses were blocked. Finally, tomorrow Navy will be looking for their 15th straight win over Army, and their chances are pretty darn good. That's why most Army fans, such as I, are not too optimistic. But I'll still watch till Monday. Make sure your outside spigot is turned off and your hose is put away. Be a good sport and stay loose.
Celebrate your Friday at Bottlenecks with $4 shareable appetizers from 6 to 8 p.m. Plus, there's some great live music every other Friday featuring Dom and Mr. Sax.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. First tonight, happy birthday to Joe Marquez. All of our love from your wife, Deb, 4 girls, grandson Jackson, your entire family, and everyone at SSPTV. Our next announcement, the Butler Township Recreation Board and the Girl Scout Troops 30268 and 30364 will host the grand opening of the Little Free Library Sunday, December 11th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Butler Township Community Center. The public is welcome to attend, and the Little Free Library will offer a variety of books for people to borrow, and the group will also accept book donations. For info, just visit littlefreelibrary.org. Next announcement, the Greater Hazleton unit of the American Cancer Society is presenting Chris Pavlik Sings Sinatra Saturday, December 10th at the Pines Eatery and Spirits in Hazleton. The performance will be held from 6 to 9 p.m. with a full buffet and cash bar. Tickets are $25 and proceeds benefit the ACS Telethon. For info, just call 570-459-1212. And finally, Holy Family Academy will be holding a gift card and toy bingo Sunday, December 11th. Doors open at noon, early bird at 1, games at 1:30, and admission is just $10. For info, give the school a call, 570-455-9431. At tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Kenneth L. Jones Jr. of Hazleton. Graveside services Tuesday at 1 p.m. at the Sorber Cemetery in Chickashinny. William Roberts of Hazleton. Funeral is Tuesday at 10 a.m. from the Boyle Funeral Home. Friends may call Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. and Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. And Walter E. Chippy Sr. of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is David Malloy of Frackville. David, if you're watching, give us a call, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
Get in the holiday spirit tomorrow. Christmas in Cunningham, noon to 4 p.m. And I believe It's a Wonderful Life is then on tomorrow night. Take it easy, everyone. See you on Monday.